Hey everyone, it's Trader Rob. So, what gives? Is the trading bot available or is it not? Those questions will get answered right after the intro. And we're back. As always, nothing that I say on this channel is financial advice. I'm here to share my strategies and to showcase a trading system and a trading bot that I purchased from Robert Anderson called the Goldline Trading Assistant Tool. I call it the trading bot. That's what he started calling it. So that's what stuck with me. So if you remember in my last video, I had mentioned that looking at his website, the bot looked like it was available to be purchased again. So as you know, it's he had it live, or he had it where people could purchase. I think it was for maybe a day or maybe 2 days. I was obviously one of the first ones to purchase this trading bot, and then shortly after, he put a hold on all new subscriptions so he could kind of work out a lot of the back end and technical issues. I think it was obviously a little overwhelmed with the amount of interest into the system. So on Friday, I believe I put out a video where the website looked like he was ready to take orders again because the sold out was gone and looked like you can go through the checkout process. And then we received an email from Robert Anderson himself stating that, as a current subscriber to the bot, that we would be have access to certain parts of the website which we need, like the tools section, but that the rest of the site, including purchasing the bot, would not be available. So if you go to his website, which is goldlinetrades.com, it'll allow you to enter in your email, which is like an opening soon, and it's meant to put like a waiting list. Okay, so I mean, it even says right here, our website is in maintenance for a short period of time. Soon we'll reopen sales again, and then he's got a place here for you to enter in your email. Now, if you're a current subscriber, you can put in the password, and you're able to get certain sections of the site. I actually haven't been into that site yet, um, but we do have access to that. So that is an update on the actual bot. So let's go over what man. It's been a crappy day of trading so far this morning. Lost my NQ trade at 8:35, which is the systematic trade that I take almost every morning. Um, and it sucked because it got me out by like maybe a tick or two, and then not only did it go to full take profit, but it would have been a pretty damn good trade. No setup on the 15-minute NASDAQ trade. We were looking at one at the open. For those of you that are trading that, which I know there's a lot of people on my Discord that are trading that strategy as well, the 15-minute NQ candle strategy. Just be really careful when you get that strategy, that condition being met, or all conditions being met right at the open. Very mixed results on that particular, just that open candle, where all the conditions are met. So this morning we almost got to it, but we actually, price action went above higher than the candle, and the condition was not met. So there has been no trade on the 15-minute today. Oil, man, this is oil trade has just been it's been a brute. So I got into an oil trade early this morning, and I think it hit at, let's see here, right around 8:30. No, sorry, 8:35 Central Time, and took the long. No, I'm sorry. What do I keep saying? It was like at 8:15 that I took that trade. Um, yeah, between 8:15 and 8:20 is when I took that trade. and went all the way up. I think it was like 4 ticks from full take profit, and then came down to about maybe 4 ticks of full stop. And here it looks like we just took take profit. So we got full take profit on that one. Um, so hopefully those that stayed into that trade, it was a sweat. You got to sweat that one out. But that's what I say. These trades, you gotta let them. If you've got a system, you gotta let them run out. Let me just. Yeah. So people in Discord are like, "Wow, that was a that was a tough trade." But hey, at least that helped because that kind of helped offset the Nasdaq trade that I took that did not work out this morning. So love that. No setup in my natural gas trade. So that's the updates that I got on my strategies. Now let's focus in here on the trading bot. Friday. Friday, as you guys saw, I posted a video showing a 5% drop in the account, which is what happened. Not a good showing for the bot. I liked price action on Friday. I especially liked the price action in the morning, and I really thought that the system was going to perform well. As I stated in my wrap up towards the end of that video, I think if you were to trading his strategy manually on Friday, you probably made some money. And, for one reason or the other, based on the conditions that the strategy has built in, they just didn't, it took the trades at the wrong time um, and didn't take the trades that would have worked with the strategy based on certain conditions that weren't met. Now, granted, that's going to happen. That's going to happen on any strategy. That's just a part of it. It's what comes with it's what comes with trading in general. So our account right now sits at $2,033.12. Okay, we started with 2 grand. We built that up to about 2,200, which was pretty nice. And right now, our buffer is not very big. Today is the 10th day of the challenge. And then I was thinking, I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, well, what is 30 days? What is a 30-day challenge? Because is it a month? Well, in a month, there's only 21 trading days in a month. Do I stop it at 21, or do I take it to 30 days? 30 actual trading days. So I'm going to let you guys in the comments let me know what you guys think I should do there. And just me thinking, forward thinking, okay? Let's just say that tomorrow was the last day of my challenge, which obviously it's not, but let's just say it was. I'm also kind of excited for that day, for the day after this challenge is done, because I am dying to to change just a few things. I would love to change the instrument, that's for sure. I've said that. Nasdaq, I would be fine with trading, and I would probably want to look at probably keeping oil, even though oil has not done well for me on the strategy. It kind of hurts because like my oil strategy in the morning works, and then when I don't get it here, it's like I would like to trade maybe a different instrument. I know people are having success with gold right now. Again, I've never traded gold, so for me, I don't think that would be very smart. I'm actually thinking about the ES. So I would like to start looking at how this system works on the ES. If you guys remember one of my first videos that I created, I traded the ES with the default settings of the system, took a first trade on ES, hit it. I think I took $250 on a E-mini contract on that one. And Since then, because of the fact that Bob on his site doesn't have the ES listed as a strategy, I never picked it because I didn't know if that would be something that you would just run on a default setting or kind of tweak it. But now that you're starting to get really familiarized with the system, I feel that the ES is something that I would love to start to test. So again, if tomorrow was the last day
Order
of the
submitted.
challenge, that is something that I would really like to. Um, I would really like to change the instrument. Looks like we're getting a setup here on oil. What did oil? Did you hear that I was talking about you here, buddy? Um, all right, so it looks like here, nice push up. This is actually the push up that got me for the full profit on my oil trade. That was right here. But let's just say that we've got a nice strong push. We've got a pull back down into the 5 minute goal line, which is right here. And we need to, as of right now, breach this high of this green candle for us to get into a trade. Let me see what kind of space we're looking at here. Well, we've got about 21 ticks of space before I would think that we would start hitting some resistance and the new high of day. But and it looks like with the green dot, your our take profit would be up pretty high. So now this has now, since this is still a valid trade because it has stayed that the body stayed within the 5 minute gold line. Now the order comes back down. So this is that small pullback that Bob is always talking about in his videos. And this trade is 100% validated still. So let's see if we get something here. Taking a look just to see if we get another setup here between the 9 and 10 a.m. session for oil. But right now, let's see if we can get a trade here. I would love to take a trade. I mean, I'm pumped for it. We still are in this trade, so you can see that the next 1 minute candle closed within this 5 minute gold line, which you guys can see right here. Still valid trade. Now that the target order, I'm sorry, the entry order is getting really close to price action, just based on my experience, your probability of getting into a trade right now is maybe 80 to 90%. I mean, we'd have to have a really strong reversal, which in that case we would love not to be in that trade because that would be a losing trade. So as I say that we've got a 80-90% chance of getting in this trade,
Order canceled.
we well, it took that made me look like an idiot. But well, obviously price action didn't work out because what happened? Hopefully you guys that are following this. Hopefully you guys can see this because it was a doji candle, so it's hard to even see. But price action closed below the 5 minute goal line with no part of its body or wick touching that 5 minute goal line. So that trade is invalidated at that point. So no trade on oil. So hopefully we'll see if we get another setup here. So just to kind of get back to what I was trying to say is if today was the last day of the challenge and I could start something fresh, again, something new, what I would love to do and what I feel like is something that I would really like to do is I would like the next opportunity to take another 30-day challenge. Let's consider it 20 trading days, okay? Like a month, like a real calendar month of trading days. And Sorry, let me close my email so we don't get those beeps. I would like the opportunity to to fund that same account. Hopefully, we have money in that account after the 30 days. But we started with 2 grand. Hopefully, there's money left over in there. If we run at a profit, fantastic. If we run at a loss, hopefully it's not a huge loss. But yeah, as you guys all know, I show you guys my NinjaTrader statement every day. It's a live account that I'm trading. I would like to even show you guys in the strategy, it even shows your account number. But then I'm like, I don't know, every other YouTuber always like grays out their account number. And I've always thought, I'm like, well, yeah, you're probably trading on a sim, dude. That's probably why you don't want to do it. But then obviously I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't know, do I want to have my account number out there where everybody can see it? The nice thing with NinjaTrader is that you can see that all of the stuff there is live. So everybody that has NinjaTrader has an account with them. I know for a fact that you know that this is real cash money that I am trading with here, and everything has correlated between what we're trading here on screen, what our profit and losses on the system, and it matches up exactly what our profit and losses on NinjaTrader. So after that disclosure, my thought would be is to bump up the challenge to maybe funding the account with $5,000 and start trading just one E-mini contract. Just because with 2 grand, you can't trade that size. You can't. I mean, you could, but you shouldn't. And, one bad day, let's just say like Friday, one bad day, and that's not sustainable. I mean, you're almost to the point where you might not even be able to trade the E-mini at that point with margin anymore. So even at 5 grand, one E-mini, I think is enough. We'll set the parameters for our take profit and stop loss so that we obviously hopefully cannot blow our account. I don't think that the system hasn't even showed me anything near where I would get that type of fear, just because of the risk management, the stop losses, and the aggressive stop losses. To be 100% honest with you, those are all important. So yeah, and then I would like to be able to then optimize instead of just doing what I'm doing here for this challenge, where I'm just letting all 3 instruments trade. I am not manually adjusted anything. I am only taking the templates, the strategy templates that Bob Anderson himself throws out there for us to trade. That's the only parameters that I have put in there. Other than that, I'm starting from the morning till the market closes. To be honest with you, it's when the strategy starts that's built in the times to when it stops. I would like then the opportunity after that to be able to pick my instrument or instruments that I would like to trade. So I would like to do like the NQ in oil. I would like to trade an E-mini contract, one of them. And then I would also like the ability to be able to change some start times and some end times with different parts of the strategy. Okay. So I believe that, and there's on the Discord, there's so many people that are, they're putting so much time into back testing, putting so much time into trying to optimize, which again, you can optimize too much. I'm not even a fan of that because I like setting something and almost forgetting it and just let the system run. If the system doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But give it an opportunity to work or not work, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So yeah, I would like to make some very small tweaks. I'm not tweaking the actual parameters as far as pivots and the strength of pivots and what the strategy is looking for. I would mainly like to move around the times. I would like to move around the instruments. And the big one is I would definitely like to work with this long on and short on button. Now, there's a few things that are out there, and for those of you that watch Robert Anderson's video channel and have been watching mine, just pay attention to this really quickly. So we all know that Bob is super high on his overnight open trade. Okay, so what he's essentially looking at is we've got the overnight open here on the Nasdaq at 15,181. Okay, what he has always preached and taught in his channel is that price action is attracted to that overnight open as like a magnet. But then once it touches that overnight open and might even pierce it by a few ticks, he loves the reversal trade off of that overnight open. Okay, so he's not looking for breakout trades from there. He's looking for reversal trades off of the overnight open. And it does work. It works more than not, that's for sure. So it even bothers me because, or the part of it that bothers me is that it does work. And then when I have my systematic trades on, I get it wigs me out to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to take this trade because I know it's going to be hitting that overnight open. So what I have done is on the oil and on my natural gas trade, I don't even have the overnight open showing up on the chart because I don't want to be influenced by any other parameter from my oil strategy because I haven't back tested it against the overnight open. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I'm hoping that does. So I don't keep that on my oil strategy chart because I don't want to be influenced by that. But at the same time, it is a big reversal. It's a big magnet for price
Order
action,
submitted.
and it's a big reversal from it. So right now, we've got the NQ, which is up here on the left, with a short setup off the 5-minute gold line. We pierced it right here. We're going to have to see this order here, this candle close higher than the low of the previous candle for us to stay in this trade. And yeah, that would be really the only condition because we're obviously going to be within this 5-minute gold line wick here. And then on the Russell, which, man, the Russell's been sucking ass on this particular strategy, at least for me. This has been definitely the most disappointing instrument that we've been trading on this trading bot since I've started. And it kind of, was, I think a lot of people had some high hopes on the Russell. So you can see here that we're still in this trade. Because, and it looks like we might get activated here. Looks like we might get activated on both. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let...
Order submitted.
All right, we're in on the NASDAQ trade here.
Order canceled.
Oh, Nikes. What the hell happened there? Man, that hit stop loss like... I didn't even feel like it did hit the stop loss. That was strange. Price action there to me didn't even look like it hit the stop loss, but it knocked me out. That knocked me out for a $12.44 loss, which is not good. I mean, that's not a good way to start the session. That sucked. I mean, I don't know if you guys, maybe I'll see this on when I replay the video, but to me, it looked like it didn't even hit my stop loss and it knocked me out. That was quick. So let's see what the Nasdaq does after this. And then it looks like we still might be in a trade setup here on the Russell. Let me jump over here to All right, just I like to share my comments too in the Discord community with that we have. I was just saying if it looked like so right there we get the dialog box that came up minus $12.44
Order
on that
submitted.
trade. All right, so let me blow this up. This is the Russell. So on the Russell, as we talked about, we had a pullback here to the 1 minute gold line, and we are looking at a stop of about 9 ticks, which looks like it might get hit as well here. Really hoping for non back-to-back losers. I feel like I haven't.
Order canceled.
Well, we're out of that one too, guys. So we got knocked out of the NQ and the Russell. And our account now sits at negative $25.88 for the day. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now I'm almost to the point where I can't remember the last win. I don't remember it. Now we had a break even, but this is about 3 or 4 days of just no winners, which to me seems a little odd, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the strategy from what I have gathered, it's the strategy is almost dependent on a big trade, on capturing a big trade with full take profit. Those have seemed to be the only trades, which I think that there's been only maybe 2 or 3, maybe 2.5, where we had a trailing stop and we were still able to get some profit, but it seems to be dependent upon that big trade to keep you afloat. Now, the problem that I see with that is, for those of you who are trading this on a prop firm, or let's say on an eval account, typically they get a little bit more aggressive. So I could see them all trading 1 or 2 e-mini contracts, depending on what eval level you're at. But how do you sustain an eval account with 3 or 4 days of straight losers without hoping that you get that one home run? In my case, how I'm trading this with the micros on a small account challenge, with what I consider to be very good risk, some risk conditions built in here, where I know that it would be very difficult for me to blow up or to have a huge losing day. Even though Friday sucked, 5% is, it's a hit. But overall, we're still up. So, I mean, that it's manageable at that point. But if you're on an eval account, I don't see how. I think that becomes very difficult. Very difficult to wait for that big home run that we're getting. And I know I've stated it a few times. So, but I don't know. It is what it is. Let's see how the rest of the day shapes up. I'm hoping here, what is it, 9:30 almost Central Time on November 6th. I'm hoping that maybe I'll get a second session oil trade here. I would love for that to happen. And let's see if we get another trade, or how many trades we get on the trading bot, and I'm hoping that we'll be profitable. All right, let's stay tuned for my trade breakdowns. Okay, and here we're getting into an oil setup.
Order submitted.
There we go. We're in this trade here. We've got a pullback here into the 5-minute goal line, and we're looking to take this long. Again, pretty aggressive target here. 82.69 is the take profit. 82.09 is the entry. So we're looking at about 60 ticks of profit with a stop loss of 81.99. So about 10 ticks of stop loss. So let's see here how this trade goes. Again, not the greatest price action here. Looks like it's price actions try to make the same high 3 times.
Order canceled.
And we're out of that trade. So that trade in oil was a loss. All right, here we're getting
Order
it set
submitted.
up. We're in a trade here in the NASDAQ. So we've got a pullback down here to the 5-minute red line. So this is going to be one of the biggest take profit. With the 5-minute red line, it's really looking for a big aggressive take profit. Entry here was at 15,215. Take profit is at 25,250. So that looks like, what do we got here? 37 points of profit. And we've got a stop loss of 207.50, which is about 8.5 points of stop loss.
Target filled.
That was actually my oil trade for this morning. So I like this trade. Obviously, we've got the strong push up. We've got the strong pull down back into the 5-minute red line. I like this trade a lot. Now, I can tell you, because I was at the screen still here, where in Discord, in the private group, I specifically said, I like the trade setup, but I do not like how close our stop is. I feel like it's suffocating the trade here. And granted, it does work out right here where we, 8.5 points. You got to remember, 8.5 points in the NASDAQ is not a lot at all. Granted, it always feels like it's a lot when it's going into profit, but stop losses always seem to be easier. So right here, I feel like this is a good trade. I mean, we've got a lot of room here to get to where price action has been, and I feel like here is where I'm like, this is suffocating this trade. This auto break even right here is brutal. And I mentioned it even before the outcome of this trade. So yeah, that's my thing. And granted, everybody's got their own trading style. I have really come to love the 1-to-1 risk to reward on a lot of my strategies, but at the same, because I know just from back testing on the NASDAQ that the 1-to-1 is actually plays out pretty well. Now, granted, this is 38 points of take profit, which is extremely aggressive. So I'm not going to take a 38 point stop loss. I mean, that's crazy. So that 1-to-1 strategy is not, wouldn't come into play here. I understand that the system is built with some pretty tight stop losses to minimize risk. But at the same time, on days, and I'm not even saying on pure chop days, because this is a pretty good setup right here. And I just felt like that auto trailing feature to break even is happening. It just happened a little bit too quick. That was my feeling here. Let's see if this trade has the legs to continue. I also think that at the peak of this trade right here, we were at about, or maybe actually right here, I believe we hit 16, maybe 17 points of profit, which is pretty good on the NASDAQ. I mean, it's a good trade. You can feel that it wants to move. There we go. So about 5 minutes into this trade now. And trade's looking great. I'm really not, I don't really get nervous at all anymore on these trades. Really any of my trading, I feel like the second you're nervous, something's wrong with either you don't have trust in the setup, you're over trading, or you're trading too much size. That's my philosophy. And that has been a game changer for me for my trading. So obviously not the candle that we're looking for in this part of the trade here. We're getting a pretty strong rejection. So let's see. I believe this one does want to fight. Just try to fight back. So again, if I want to overanalyze, I would say, in my opinion, I would like to maybe, I don't know how we can extend out these, the trailing stops, or at least the break-even stops. I feel like maybe if we can hold off on them a little bit, or like maybe if you're at 60% take profit, then you can go to break even. I don't know. I mean, I guess that might come more with more testing, and I'm sure Bob has probably tested the shit out of all of the stop losses and stuff like that. So I'm sure that he feels that this is the most profitable way to trade this strategy. But again, visually looking at it while I'm in the trade, my feeling is that they just need a little bit more buffer. And they do save you some money. I mean, I'm not going to say that auto trailing break even hasn't saved me from some really bad trades. Come on, NASDAQ. 7.5 minutes into this trade. What do you want to do? Come on. So it looks like we got support here off of the 5-minute gold line, which is a positive thing. That's what you're definitely looking for, is support from the higher EMAs from your entry point. But if they're going to hold is a different matter. Come on. Still fighting. It's still fighting. I don't know. I find it exciting when other YouTubers are in trades, like real trades. Well, you think that they're real trades. You hope they're real trades. You just like to get a sense for. I mean, I know I'm not on camera right now, but you try to get a sense for their emotion, and it just, I don't know. I just like that feeling of being in a trade. It's great. Well, we're going to be hitting our 10-minute point on this trade. So let's see here. Let's see here if we can stay above this 1 minute goal line. Or get support here of the 5 minute goal line. Still in this one. So we went from about 17, maybe 18 points of profit on the NAS to now just kind of treading water here. Come on, give me a push. Give me the push. Let's go. So you can see we got into an area here of consolidation. We did get that earlier push up, but it just hasn't really, I don't know, hasn't really looked too good since then. Now it's trying to hold on.
Order canceled.
And there you go. It was break even. So I mean, it wasn't terrible, but the hard part about that trade is that we're obviously in about 17 or 18 points of profit. So yeah, that hurts a little bit. Let's see what else the day has. All right, we're getting into another NASDAQ 5 minute red line trade setup here.
Order submitted.
This one I'm not as excited as I was on the previous one, even though that one was break-even trade. Here, just looking at price action, don't personally like this setup. But let's see here how the trade unfolds. Entry on this one was 15,224.50. Take profit is at 15,262, and which is about the 38 and a half point take profit. And your stop loss is, I think, eight or 8.5 is your stop loss here. So, I think we get up a little bit on profit, and the max that we see here is about between 4 and 5 points of profit on the NAS. and the auto trailer stop loss has kicked in already. So that moved up to 15 to 18.25. So about 6 points of risk. So it took about 2 points off the table. Again, I necessarily don't even think we need to take those 2 points off. I'd rather almost have that. Well, maybe not necessarily here. Well, yeah, maybe off of a bounce of the 5-minute red line. I'd like to see maybe a little bit of space. But, that's the strategy. Let's see what happens here. Just looking at price action here, I mean, a retest of this would be very, very much in the cards, which is what looks like it's going to happen right here. Unless the NASDAQ wants to get some legs. Let's go NQ or MNQ. Come on, buddy. Come on. All right. If we can get past, I was going to say, if we can just get one little thrust here, we'll be looking in better shape. But again, I don't like what's above it. I don't like this price action. I definitely don't like this target. This would be a new high for the day. If we were to ever get up there, not to say that it can't get up there, but I just think the probability is much less. So normally when the NASDAQ is ripping, I mean, it's very, very, I mean, you see it all the time, 40 points, 60 points. I would say 20 points is, in my opinion, 20 to 25 points is a very realistic target for the NQ. Or the MNQ, the micro contract of it. I think that that is something that you just see just over and over and over again on the NASDAQ. 38 points of take profit. Again, it's that home run. It's the home run effect. And price action today doesn't look like it's given any home runs. We're going up against their star closer here, and the market seems to be winning, man. Come on. Come on. Staying on by a tick there. Staying on by a tick. Come on. Whew. That was close. And I feel like I'm holding on for dear life here. Come on. So again, the stop loss here got moved up. So, I mean, I think we just came like about a tick of getting knocked out right there. But again, could the extra 2 points buffer, taking it back down to 8 points of stop loss, maybe help us in this trade? Obviously, we're going to find out. But I don't know. it is trying to fight. Unfortunately, making my video very long here today, but this was the market today. This seemed to be what we were getting. A lot. It's nice to know that your stop losses support until it's not. Come on. Come on.
Order canceled.
Man, each time it really does try to fight, but it just can't beat the market right now. All right, another loss there on the Nasdaq. Well, if
Order
you're a
submitted.
fan of the Nasdaq, you're getting a whole bunch of trades here on the Nas today. So here we're looking at a short off of a 5-minute goal line trade. Real tight stop loss here. I think we got 2.5 point stop loss, and we've got a take profit at 195. So that looks to be about 20 points. Obviously, a great setup, just because,
Order canceled.
you know, well, as I'm talking, we get that loss, but we had the strong pullback down. We had the pullback up into the 5-minute goal line, and there was obviously a really nice room. I liked the target. That was all very doable, but obviously just not enough in the stop loss, and another loss for the day. All right, here we're getting a setup in the Russell on a short to
Order
the
submitted.
1-minute goal line. So we're in a trade here. Entry on this is at 1738.20. We've got a stop loss at 39.20, so about 10 ticks of stop. And we've got a take profit of 34. I think it's 34.70 there. So roughly 40 ticks of profit is what we're looking for on this trade. I did have to, I did go through an oil trade, which was a loser, but I think it was actually close to break even. But that trade was just in there for like 20 minutes. Oil tried really hard, but ultimately it was a lot of sideways action. So let's see here on the Russell. We've just gotten beat up here pretty good here today on the trades. Again, I got an auto trailer on our stop loss that is just not giving this trade any space. Like the trade, okay. Not the biggest fan of the 1-minute goal line, but I could see why I took this trade, and I see the space that it has to go.
Order
But
canceled.
unfortunately, another loss. Well, as you can see during that recap, this was an absolute. This was a bad session. Yes, granted, we lost. I think we had one small winner there for like $3. But all of the trades were just not good. How do I kind of summarize this? Because I obviously I don't want to sugarcoat anything. I want to be honest with my review of the system and how it's going so far. And obviously today was a shit day. And it's been about 4 shit days in a row. So, as I mentioned when I first started the video, I genuinely believe that the system is really built on hitting some home runs. and it's absorbing all of those outs and little bunts that don't go anywhere that you get called out at first. Baseball reference for anybody who doesn't get that. And it's built for that home run, which you could see today during my recap of my trades. We had some opportunities, but the price action was just absolute garbage. I mean, absolute garbage. This is a complete and utter, look at this, Chop Fest City. This was, to find a strategy that's going to make money on a home run here today. I don't think you can find it. I guess there's some out there. I know some of my strategies today worked out well, but my NQ strategy this morning that I take every morning, it's got a very high win rate, lost. Both of my oil strategies today, those rocked on. Those both took full take profit. And that's been, I don't know, 5 or 6 days in a row of profitable trades there, maybe more. So you're able to make some trades, but speaking of the system specifically, it's hard. It's hard to trade when there's no moves. And as much as I would in a normal day, if I could replicate this day outside of this challenge, I 1000% would have turned this bot off. 100%. You could realize where this market was going within the first hour and a half of the market. Maybe 2 hours. You could see that, and I would have saved some capital just turning it off, but that's not part of the that's not part of the plan. Plan is to see a trade from the morning to the afternoon, from the strategy start time to the strategy end time. That's it. It's very simple. Today we took a pretty damn good loss of $122.72. That one is a dooz. So that's 2 days, over $100 each day of losses. So again, a small challenge, small account challenge. It's hits like these that are difficult to kind of sustain. The $30 loss, the $50 loss, those we can make up. And then you get that one really good trade, that home run that I keep talking about, that I really think that this system is built for, and then everything is okay. But on a day where, I don't even know how many trades did I just go over with you guys, but that was just getting caught up every single which way. So our account stands at 1910 for the challenge. We are down now, let's just say $90. So yeah, that part kind of stinks, but that's trading too, people. It's the market's got to be, so this is a pullback. This is a pullback strategy. Trading bot. It's built on strong pullbacks or smaller pullbacks, but a continuation of trend. That's the key word, is the continuation of trend. What trend? These last, I don't know, I would say even last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, there's just been no trend. There's been no sustained movement whatsoever that would allow a strategy like this to profit, or to profit well. I feel like it's done a pretty good job up to this point. Now we got it up to 2200, and from there we have now lost about 300 of that. We've given it back to the market. But there's also a good amount of days for us to recover and to hopefully, if we get a day of a trending market where we get those small pullbacks or the strong pullbacks. When I say small pullbacks, I'm saying to the 1 minute goal line, where it's a continuation of the trend and we just want to ride on the coattails. Okay. Or you get that nice pump up, move up, and then we get that pullback down. It's almost like that. Everybody's just kind of taking a breather, and we just go right back into it, and the market starts to rip again. So that's what this strategy is really built for, and we haven't had any of those days. So I'd like to see, obviously, how it's going to perform in one of those days. I don't want to make excuses for the strategy. I don't want to make excuses for this trading bot, but the market has been pretty damn ugly. With that being said, as I mentioned, I lost on my morning NASDAQ trade that I take every morning, or typically every morning. Both oil trades this morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. session, full take profit, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Time. That one took full profit. No setup on... Let me bring this up here. No setup. I mean, look at this. This is just... The hell kind of price action is this? This is brutal. Yeah, and you have to expand it to make it even look like a chart. So let's see. What am I looking at here? Morning time. 8 a.m. right around here. So again, no setup here prior to the 8:30 open Central Time, nor would it be a trade just because it closed above the ADMA. We had another long signal here, but again, close underneath the ADMA. So again, these are keeping you out of bad trades. Okay, so that is the reason, because I had someone say, well, can't we just bypass the ADMA and just take trades? Yeah, guys, you can do whatever the hell you want. You guys can go nuts with this thing. But there's a reason why we say for it to close above or below the ADMA. You guys are free to do whatever you guys would like to do. I see that a lot of people are like, just stick to the strategy, and it's going to keep you out of some... Yeah, are you going to miss some good trades? Of course. Every system is. Are you going to take a great setup and still lose? Of course. Every system does that. But this will also keep you out of some pretty shit trades, and this one was. So obviously we are in a decline here, okay? And we closed underneath. But the rally here was not sustained, and you get a huge dump down. Now here you get another short signal, but one, it's outside of trading of our rules to trade. And number two is that you get a short above the ADMA. We wouldn't take this trade no matter what. So again, zero setups on the NASDAQ 15-minute candle trade. And those are momentum plays. And as you can see, the market had no momentum today. It was just a pure chop action day. So hopefully you guys are starting to understand maybe some of the methodology here, and what we're trying to do, or what I'm trying to do, or try to come across. I'm excited to see how the strategy is going to work tomorrow. There's going to be one programming note. I am not going to be able to trade Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week, at least not with my 30-day challenge. So we'll resume that. We'll trade it tomorrow, and then we'll resume it on Monday. But I am going to actually be out of. I am not going to be available to be in front of charts. I am going to try to hopefully be able to get my oil trade still in, just because that's very systematic, and I only need to be on the charts for a little bit of time, so that still might happen for me. I'm hoping, and for sure the Nasdaq, because that one's easy. But yeah, that's where I stand. I'm still positive about the trading bot. It's had a really rough couple of days, but again, the market has also been pretty damn rough as well. Listen, guys, like this video, please. Put some comments in there. I think that I had asked you guys a question earlier. If you would like to, how long I should do this challenge for. Should it be like 20 trading days, or should I just go the 30 actual trading days to make it into a real month? So you guys can comment that below. Let me know if you took any of my other strategies in the comments, and please subscribe to the channel. That is a huge help that you guys can do for me. Thanks, everyone. Happy trading.